What's up guys, and welcome back to Project Zomboid. You may notice that we're at a familiar location. I did end up finding my way back to our house. It was actually just a short walk from where we actually spent the evening. Unfortunately, you know all those zombies that were there earlier? They're still here. And so we have an enormous horde of zombies that we've got to figure out how to get them away from our house. I've got a number of plans, but all of them come off as somewhat ACME-esque. If you've ever watched Looney Tunes, you'll know what I mean. I really do feel somewhat like a familiar coyote at the moment, trying to come up with a rather terrible plan to defeat an undead roadrunner. So unfortunately, in the absence of many of the things that would actually make this job easier, you know, heavy artillery, machine guns, hand grenades, things of that nature. God, we got another one right there. I'm actually going to try and pick through as many of these as possible. Oh my. Never mind. See, the quick movers are the ones that are problems. They are just unpleasant. Deep down, they have terrible souls. They have terrible souls. They're black-hearted little buggers. No, I think I can knock them both down if I wanted to be really super cool right now. There we go. So I've killed a bunch of zombies at the moment. Hopefully the horde is not alerted down here. There was no window or anything open that would allow me to get into the house, but I think I've more or less got this entire side of the building cleared out. So let's consider for a moment if we can make our way inside to grab all of the kit that we've already gathered. God, come on. There we go. Alright, so we're in. We're in our own house, and if a burglar alarm goes off in my own house, I'm going to weep. I'm going to weep giant anti-zombie miserable tears. Let's see if we can find any sheets to cover that last window, because I don't feel good while it's uncovered. But on the bonus side, we did make it into our house now, which is half the battle, I would suppose. I mean, we're almost there. We can stay here for the evening, although I don't really know any way that we're going to draw the zombies off the house. The only way I could think of is taking the pistol and blasting as many as possible, but I really legitimately don't think that's going to turn out the way. I honestly, deep down in my soul, don't think that's really going to solve the problem here. I think it's actually just going to make it worse. Let's eat ourselves a tomato real fast, which to me just seems vile. Tomatoes, the strangest thing with me as a person, I can't stand tomatoes. They're disgusting. And at the same time, I can eat stuff made out of tomatoes, like pesto sauce, things of that nature. I love pizza, all that good stuff. Let's open and close the back door here, because it's been locked on me the last few times I've come here, and I would really prefer that it not be locked. Because the location is pretty much overrun, I'm a little bit hesitant to leave any of my gear here. But I think I am going to take the chance. There's a horde right here, by the way. I didn't tell you guys that. If you look right here where I'm circling, there's like 50 zombies right here. So you'll forgive me if I don't want to go near that window at all. We're going to kind of keep it tight up and over here and just hope that we don't have to go over there. Let's go ahead and put some of these water bottles in the fridge. Unless the fridge is totally full, which it appears as though it may be. Ooh, okay. You're going to play hard to get? Maybe not. Why won't you let me put anything in you, fridge? Let me place things in you. There we go. If only I had a nickel. If only I had a nickel for that sentence. But unfortunately, there are no nickels. We'll throw some peas in there. Orange soda, obviously, in there, because I love you, I love you, I love you, I do. Ooh. Everybody loves orange soda, right? I don't think I've ever met anybody that doesn't like orange soda. I would be seriously in doubt of the I would be worried. I'm not going to say that I wouldn't respect you as a human being if you don't like orange soda, but I would definitely be like, tell me more with a hand on my chin. Like, I would need an explanation. I think it would warrant an explanation. Now, the other stuff that I... Oh my god, there's so many. I would like one sheet, please, so that I can deny the reality of what's happening right here. No. Maybe that's why I didn't put a sheet on it, is because I couldn't reach it. How very, very unfortunate. That problem right there. Aside from that, I mean, realistically, I could leave all of those zombies right there and just kind of sneak in through the back door every time. I mean, I don't like it. I don't feel comfortable with it, and it makes it quite difficult to actually get at my supplies, but not all in all a miserable plan. I mean, I've seen worse. I guess we'll live with it for now. I don't like this spot, but until we find ourselves a better one... I thought I heard tapping there for a minute. You'll forgive me. I thought I heard tapping, but until we find a better plan, I just don't see us getting away with this. I'm gonna put the dog food in the fridge. And I apologize, this episode was supposed to be more than me just offloading all of my random garbage, but Unfortunately, will you stop that? Stop that. Stop that right now. I demand it. There we go. And so that's all stashed away. I don't think there's anything else that I really want to throw in here. There's a couple sheets, but I'd rather keep those on hand, to be honest. But I suppose we'll put them in there. It's not going to hurt anything. Now the pistol. This is a rough choice because the pistol is quite heavy. The pistol is a little bit of a problem. It's kind of weighty. We have to carry around ammunition for it with us. And so I don't really know if this is a good plan. I wish I could ask you guys. I'm pre-recording all these in one big burst. And so I wish I could ask you guys what you think is the best plan here. But unfortunately, I don't honestly know at this point. I think I'm going to keep the chips with me so that I have road food. My bat is at 80% condition, so that's not so bad. I wish I could fix my bat, but unfortunately I don't think that's going to be an option. Let's go ahead and I'm going to go out the window that I came in. And I don't think we're going to spend all day at this location. Let's go ahead and close that window right there. But for future reference, we need to come in through that top window and let's go get lost again, which is exactly how this game seems to go. We've dumped off all of our goodies at a centralized location. That means it's time to get on out of here. I mean, realistically, I could probably relocate everything to here, to be honest. I don't hate that idea at all. In fact, I might do that in between episodes. So bear that in mind. I may ferry everything from over here into this place, but there's no fridge. That's my #1 problem with this location, is that there's no refrigerator. The house down here, swamped. Absolutely swamped with zombies. I'm not going to deal with this guy just yet, but we may consider finding a safer location, at least several dozen meters away from the other house that we can keep ourselves out of harm's way at. But to be fair, most of the locations seem to be pretty miserable choices. If I had to say how safe I feel at any location in this game, the value would be almost null. Like, I really don't feel like any location is safe. Let's head into town. We're going to go northwest again. And I think if we can keep ourselves on the straight and narrow here, we can find ourselves a little bit of loot. We're going to camp ourselves out inside of town, and we're being chased by a ridiculous ginger zombie who's very, very, well, he's red-haired. That's as far as I'm going to go with that diatribe. He has red hair. So my hair turns red in the sun. That's the only time my hair ever appears red. My grandmother has ridiculous carrot-colored hair. It's very, very orange. It's ridiculously orange is what I mean by ridiculous, or at least it was. But in any case, that's where I get it from. You get that weird orange-colored sheen off the top of your head once the sun hits it. Oh, good. There's more zombies here. Well, we've already looted that place anyways because the door is open. And now we're at 420. So let's see if we can find our way into a safer location after I turn my cell phone off. Because now, let's see here. We've got a little bit of time before these nasty little bastards behind us catch up. And I'll close that, and then we'll close the curtains. We're just going to ignore the problem for now. God. And then what I'll do is I'll go out through the front, and we'll figure out how many I have to clear off the window there. And if it's too many, we'll move on to a different location. We're at about 5 o'clock right now, though, which leaves me somewhat after the escapades we had in the first and second episodes. That makes me really nervous. Okay, there's only 2. That's not so bad. We'll do what we can to knock out these individuals. Did that kill both of them? No. Okay, good. Well, not so good. I mean, good in the fact that I got away without taking any bites, because this entire game is just about avoiding that one bite. That's all it takes. One bite. And once you've got that, the game is more or less over. Like, you may survive for a few more days, but once you're bitten, you are toast. So let's close that off right there. And let's eat some cereal because we're hungry. We're going to steal some of this guy's food. I guess we could have eaten the canned beans. That probably would have been a smarter decision. Got some peanut butter, some dry ramen noodles, some extra mugs and things. Let's go through the fridge and see what there is. This might be a nice candidate for somewhere to ferry all of our gear because they have a refrigerator. Now, granted, the refrigerator is not always going to be useful to us, but for the time being, we need a fallback location that's semi-safe. A pillow and a candle. What odd things to keep next to your bed. Well, a pillow, not so much. The candle, yes, though. The candle? Really? It's a weird thing to have in your chest of drawers. Got a sheet here. Let's take a look around. I like that that location is safe for the time being, so let's make it unsafe. In true Splattercat fashion, let's do something stupid and mess up a good thing. That's what I'm known for, right? That's what I do. I take a nice, perfectly safe situation, and I just completely and totally screw it up. And so let's go poke around some of these other houses, see if we can set off a burglar alarm and totally ruin a good thing. Okay, we pulled a couple zombies. Whatever. And we're getting drowsy. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Let's fall back to our safe place. And knowing full well that this back window is unlocked and safe, I'm just gonna lose the LOS there. We'll go around the horn, close the door behind us. And you want to have as many doors between you and the undead as possible. The light is not working, it doesn't look like. But we needed a sheet, I think, unless that's already... I think the curtains are already closed. I'm going to wait here for just a moment, and we're going to listen. And while I hear moanings and groanings, I don't hear anything telltale. The rap-tap knocking of nasty little buggers about our doors. So I read that carpentry book, by the way. I read the carpentry book over the course of the last night, and why is my left foot still bandaged? That makes me feel so very, very vulnerable and nervous. But what it did is it gave us a big old multiplier to our carpentry. It makes us level carpentry faster. So now that I know what the books do, that's not something that I ever encountered before. So that's something we're just going to have to live with. Our sprinting is coming along nicely. It may level up pretty shortly, which means I would put something in there. That probably means we can either run faster or we can run longer. I don't know which between the two, but it probably does something useful for us. How many days have we been alive? Are we on day 8? Hey, we're not doing too bad. We've killed 56 undead. That is how we roll. We don't run. We rock and we roll, and that is that. And so let's pass a little bit of time until we get a little bit more tired. And once we find ourselves in the throes of nasty tiredness, as I so frequently find myself, I always find, it's like sometimes I get so tired, it just feels like, you ever get so tired that it's just like in your bones, the tiredness? You just don't know how to get rid of it. No matter what you do, it feels like the tiredness is like soaking out of the pores of your walls, and you're just attracting it like a little human magnet. Or a big human magnet. I guess if you're taller than me. I'm small, so, you know, it is what it is. I like to own it. I like to own it in a Danny DeVito-esque style rather than just kind of avoiding it and complaining about it. Yeah, it's something that you gotta deal with. It's all good, though. But anyways, back to my original point. Sometimes I just feel as though the tiredness just comes out of every corner. We're gonna eat that watermelon right there. And that should stock us up for the day to be on our way out. And this is a reasonable spot. I really do wish that the game had maps and like markers so that you could like circle locations on maps, figure out where you're at. Like if you had a combination of like a compass, a map, and like something else, you could actually locate yourself on the map via triangulation or something interesting like that. It looks as though we've been in this location before. We left the door open as always. I seem to remember this little safe looking thing over here. It's actually a refrigerator, but it looks kind of like a safe to me, so I like to think of things. It's not so safe though in that house, so I think I'm gonna be on my way. It doesn't look like we've infiltrated this location, and if we had, we did it a very, very obtuse, unoptimized way. Just busted our way through the window, because that's how we do it. Looks like we got some pie in here. We'll grab some pie. We got some carrots. We'll grab all the carrots. The bread, definitely want some bread. You can never go wrong with bread. Make yourself some grilled cheese, some grilled fromage, which I find to be quite delicious. Although I like to use I use like a cheddar and a Monterey Jack Swiss type deal when I make mine. Some people prefer the American cheese when they make the grilled cheese, but I prefer to step it up a notch and throw some Monterey Jack and a little bit of cheddar in there. Make it a tad more classy. I mean, it's a grilled cheese. How classy can it get? But I like to spice it up a little bit. Spice it up a tad. And so we've probably hit all of these, to be really fair. I do wish I had spray cans or something so I could put a big X on the walls of any location I've been at. Let's check out this house, though. This house is looking a little bit conspicuous. It's looking innocently conspicuous, and that makes me very much want to be inside of it, looting all of its goodies and touching all of its things, getting my fingerprints all over everything. See if the zombies have started moving. Okay, doesn't look like we have an alarm. Let's jump on through. And we'll close this behind us. There we go. Let's check these book stands, because some of those buff things might be nice in the future. We may also want to start grabbing things to keep ourselves from getting bored, because from what I understand, as we get further and further on, most of the game is going to be spent just kind of sitting around. I'll refill my water bottle real fast, and we will strongly consider different locations for our gear. This location looks kind of nice too. I like it. I'm going to have to do a little bit of cleanup work if we decide to go here. There's a lot of trash like forks, random language, things of that nature just kind of sitting around. Things that obviously I don't really want in my drawers. That cabbage is looking somewhat less than optimized. That cabbage is looking well past its prime. Oh, God. Okay, that made me... Oh, jumped a little bit. Jumped a little bit with that one. Not cool, zombie. Not cool at all. It's strange, the rate at which this game serves up jump scares for me, because it doesn't strike me as that kind of game. Some zombies outside, but for the most part they don't seem to be aware of anything that's going on here. Let's go ahead and check the upstairs, because that's made me a little bit nervous. Actually, I think this is the place where we looted stuff out of the shed, but we never came in here. I think I was nervous about coming in here to begin with. Got some more sheets, some lighters. Why are you you're swinging the bat at nothing? What are you doing? Don't do that. Let's grab all the sheets. And what I may consider for now is just absolutely boarding this place up and using it as a potential location that we can run to. If we end up on the wrong side of the tracks without anywhere to stay, it never hurts to have a prepared location just kind of sitting around. And so we'll grab all the sheets that we can here. A comb. Definitely don't need a comb. I don't think anybody's going to care what we look like at this point. I bet that's probably going to play into the social system later, though. Once you have to deal with other survivors, looks are going to come into a... Ooh, another baseball bat. Lovely. So that's a backup plan right there. It's not something that I really want to carry around with me, but in the case that we find ourselves without a weapon, that is going to be a major thing, and it saves us some time. Let me close off these curtains right here. I want to make sure everything is shut off in this building. I like this location. I like... Ooh, another baseball bat. This is definitely looking like a prime location for me right now. Just because of the weapon density that we have access to. I always have trouble walking through these halls. You'll forgive me as I run into different bits of furniture and whatnot. I don't even remember where we came in here. Help! I'm lost! I'm lost in a single floor. How did this even happen? How did this even happen? It doesn't help as well. There it is right here. And so let's add a curtain to there, and then we'll close it. Additionally, I think there's going to be room for one over here and one for over here. And so let's add a sheet there, and we'll close that one off. That one I'm going to stand a little back because I definitely saw a shambler over there, and we'll close that one. Oh, I don't want to remove it. I want to close the curtain. There we go. Lovely, lovely curtains. And we'll add another one right there and close it all off. And it appears as though we are out of sheets. And so let's see if we can locate another one. We might consider putting some of this stuff into tote bags. Sometimes when I put things in tote bags, my weight goes up. I don't know if that's a weird discrepancy in the way that it's accounting for weight, but it's one of those strange situations. Now, I haven't figured out any way to efficiently split baseball bats, so you'll forgive me if I just don't know how to do it, but what we'll do is we'll drop them on the ground right there, and then I'll grab it the old-fashioned way. We'll leave it on the floor. Is that the busted bat or is that the good one? That's the good one, so we'll equip that there. And then the other baseball bat, we're just going to leave there for now. This house is now prepared. I consider this to be a reasonable fallback location, and I may consider relocating some of the goodies we have at the other location to here. So let's get rid of this guy because I don't want him around. I don't know if wounded zombies attract other zombies. That would be quite the ordeal. That would be an affair that I really don't want to deal with. And yeah, we've looted this place already, it looks like. Take a quick loot through the shelves just to make sure I didn't leave anything behind in the interest of weight. Flashlights, I'm a little apprehensive about flashlights, and I'll tell you why. There's a number of crashes and bugs that seem to revolve all around flashlights being used, and that makes me nervous. And so when I'm nervous, I don't use the flashlight. So let's go up to the northwest a little bit further and consider other locations, but we're looking pretty cleared out right here. I'm actually pretty impressed with the lack of zombies in this area. I absolutely regret what I said in the first couple episodes that there were no zombies around. I wish there were no zombies around at this point. Fortunately, not the case. I'm nervous about breaking into houses too, because I don't want to ruin a good thing and have loads of zombies coming to my new holdout zone. We've prepared this place, it's all ready to go, and so now we want to consider what we can bring back with us. I think I may cut this episode a little bit short while I think about what my long-term goals are right now. Going into town and scavenging is a pretty good idea, and in fact that's something that, you know, I would leave open if I wasn't pre-recording these, but I would leave it up to a vote. I think going back into town is risky, though. It's very, very risky. At the moment, we're soaking wet, unfortunately, so we need to get ourselves cleaned up there. Let's see if there's a towel or anything else in here that we can dry off with. Nope. There are also a number of farming materials here, which is another reason why I like the location. We can actually just kind of go straight out back. What I would think about doing is taking a fence and putting it around there once we get our carpentry tools. Once we get the fence put in, it'll be an impenetrable fence. We'll put a little farm in the back. This may turn out to be a reasonably decent location to size up the competition for the remainder of the game. So that being said, I'm going to cut this one short because I'd like to run all of the materials in between this location and the other one that's now swamped with zombies. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here in the Nerd Castle. I had a lot of fun playing this game. I hope you choose to join me next time. I hope it hasn't been too dry. The game, I know, is not action-packed, and I've been doing a lot of situational stuff recently, so I really want to have a fallback base before we start doing any serious exploration for things like axes, hammers, nails, all that nice stuff that we need to build upgrades to our house. So that all out of the way, I'll see you guys next time, and take care out there, everybody.